Downtown Fargo, where culture, creativity, and community collide. You've heard the headlines. Now hear what's really happening. Bringing the best of Broadway direct to you. The stories, the people, and the places that make downtown the heartbeat of our city. This is Rocky's Downtown Hour with Rocky Schneider.
Good morning, Fargo, and welcome to Rocky's Downtown Hour. So we got a full all-star lineup today. It's great. I'm really excited about it. We got the sort of soundtrack of downtown coming up. Right now, I want to let you know we have a free concert next Wednesday, Mason Jennings at Broadway Square. And so we have lots of music going on next week, and I'm really excited about my guest today, Sarah Dykema with the FargoDome. And of course, we got the annual entry to summer, Ribfest, coming up starting on Wednesday.
Yes.
Welcome.
Happy Harry's Ribfest. Thank you. We are very excited. It's obviously the official / unofficial kickoff to summer here in Fargo. And yeah, we're just very much looking forward to hosting it again.
So 4 days of music and lip smack and fun.
Exactly. It's a lot of barbecue. It's a lot of, all day you're going to smell something, I think, in any part of town, whichever the way the wind blows. So we've got food, we've got music, we've got family entertainment. We've got a lot going on.
So I always like to start with, because I think a lot of people have been to Ribfest, but assuming you're coming into town, you're new, just moved here, what is Ribfest?
So Happy Harry's Ribfest is an outdoor festival that takes place in our parking lot. It originated back in '96 and started with a handful of rib vendors. Some were local, some were from across the country. Now it has grown where we take up our north parking lot B, and we have 7 cookers from all around the country. So there's Awesome Aussies, Blazing Bronco, Cowboys. We've got Buckham. We've got...
lists are tough.
Need to stare at my list. Johnson's Barbecue and Carolina Rib King. So they're from Texas. They're from out East Coast. They're down from Florida. So a little bit of variety in regards to the style.
Some sauces are sweet, some are tangy, some are dry.
So they have a little bit of variety of how they prepare their ribs and their other meats, but they do it for the love of cooking. Honestly, like, they compliment Fargo for coming out in regards to our lunches. Our lunch crowds are some of the biggest that they've seen. They actually compare us to Reno a lot.
Oh, wow.
They enjoy coming to Fargo for that reason, because Fargo comes out to support them. And obviously they serve up some great food. I think that's why it keeps people coming back.
So 29 years?
So it'll be 29 years. I believe we're actually at 28 because we did have to skip
the COVID year.
Yeah. Yep. So it's going to be kind of an awkward, like, when we do celebrate that 30th year, we'll be one off. But no, we're really excited to host it again.
What's the secret? How do you, that's a long time for this kind of the same event to keep going on.
I think the secret has been we have kept it affordable. It is $5 admission, $5 parking. And that's when we are charging. Our event sponsors have actually helped make this a lot of what it is, because we are able to have free parking and admission from 11 to 2, thanks to a lot of our event sponsors, where it's you buy the meat and the sides are our treat. So you actually get in for free. You can get your meat and then 2 free sides during the 11 to 2 from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then also on Saturday, because we are hosting a family-friendly NDSU kids tailgate, there will be free parking and admission there. So we make it as affordable as it can be to get there, and then it's just up to you and how much fun you want to have.
Oh, that's awesome. I know historically we have always gone as an office, like during the day, and it's a good kind of outing, or as a team, because you can each go pick your own thing and still kind of get that bonding together.
Yeah. And if you're, barbecue might not be your thing, we do have some other food vendors. We've got Carolina Catering that deep fry, you name it. So if you want to deep fry,
onion.
Yep, they've got deep fried Twinkies, Oreos, they've got catfish. Hopefully we can have some sweet corn. I know that's kind of a conversation of hoping that they can get enough sweet corn up here. But then we also have cheese curds from D&D. So if you've had cheese curds at US Bank Stadium, they're the ones that do that, as well as their famous funnel cakes. We're bringing back a kettle corn vendor, mini donuts. So we got a lot of nice sweets to kind of go with the savory of the barbecue. And
so downtown has a very good relationship with the FargoDome, and people might wonder, is the FargoDome? It's not really downtown. It's kind of right off downtown in a way. But what I love about FargoDome, and we track visitor data and tourism data, I think downtown's the #1 tourist destination in the state, I'd argue. And so, but when FargoDome has a concert or a comedy act, visitors to downtown just skyrocket. I think we looked at the Nate Bargatze show, which was very popular, and we were up like 40% in downtown from the Sunday prior. And so I love these events at the FargoDome. They bring a ton of people to town, and it's great for downtown, great for the whole region. So thanks for having them, but maybe just a run. So it's not just the daytime stuff, nighttime. You got music every night. Acts.
So we do have music every night. So we've got 4 nights of some national entertainment with some local openers. So that's going to be a really exciting thing. So Wednesday night kicks off with Montgomery Gentry. It's actually Eddie Montgomery is part of Montgomery Gentry, their 25th year in regards to being a band. Well, Buffalo Wild Wings, that's just north of us on 19th Avenue. They're celebrating their 25th year, and they are actually providing free admission for anybody that wants to attend that show. So that's going to be a really exciting kickoff to Wednesday. Thursday, we've got Low Cash, so we continue that kind of country vibe. Then Friday
and
is
Slamabama. They're a fun local.
Yeah,
one.
and they've been doing great. So
we had them downtown last year, and it was a full house, so it's great.
Yeah, and then we have kind of that throwback to 90s. So we've got Smash Mouth, and then the local band Low Standards will be opening for them. So that's a really just going to be a kind of a throwback night and a lot of fun to rock out to. And then Saturday, we've kind of traditionally stuck with kind of an 80s rock band, like big hair band. So we've got both Slaughter and then Mike Tramp's White Lion, as well as Booze and Tuna out of, I believe they're from Bismarck, North Dakota, that are coming out. So yeah, it should be great.
So Wednesday's free, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday are ticketed events?
Yes. So your concert is your gated admission. So it's $5. And then you can park for $5. You can take an Uber and get dropped off right at the gate. I mean, that's kind of, again, the great part about seeing some live music for a very affordable cost. Another thing with the entertainment, it's kicking off roughly in that like 6:30, 7 o'clock hour. And then the headliners usually start about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So there's lots of time then to get to the shows when, during the day, if you need to run home quick after work during the week, or just come out and hang out with us on Saturday.
So I have 2 kids. And so my son loves going to Ribfest for the bouncy houses. And they're back again this year.
Yes. So we are excited too. I've got 2 littles that are going to be really excited about it too. So we are returning the inflatable games from Games to Go this year. And it's not going to be at the scale that it was pre-COVID, as we're still kind of feeling out in regards to our space and the needs that the event has kind of grown to. But there will be about a dozen games. Kids that are 6 and older, it'll be about $15 per wristband. And then kids that are 5 and under, it's $10 per wristband. So very affordable. They can bounce all day. The wristband is good for any time during the day. So if parents want to come out during lunch, pick them up, and then bring their kids later, that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, I almost wish my kids had summer birthdays where you could kind of be like, this is your birthday party, and then just go to eat ribs.
Exactly.
Make it work.
There you go.
Okay. So what else is going on at the FargoDome coming up? What else do you have for the summer season?
Yeah, so actually immediately after Happy Harry's Ribfest on Sunday, we'll be celebrating the Fargo High School graduations. So we'll have Fargo North, Fargo South, and Davies celebrating their high school seniors and graduations. Then we have a bit of a break. There's going to be some NDSU Coaches Clinic mid-June that'll be happening in the building. And then we bring comedian Theo Vaughn into the building on Saturday, June 21st. So that's going to be really exciting. His first time in the Fargo area, as well as then July, we get a little bit of a break for the 4th of July holiday. We'll host 10 days of USA Wrestling. That's been our annual event. I know, obviously, that's a big draw. They come to the street fair.
I mean, those wrestlers, they love to eat. And so the street fair is like their destination to go eat. That's been awesome for us.
Well, even having downtown so close, the parents appreciate it between the sessions and everything. I mean, we always encourage people to head downtown for a lot of that stuff because it is so close for them to go enjoy a restaurant, go shopping, go experience that, and then come back to the Dome for that event. And then the concert that we're hosting in July is Hosier. So that'll be Sunday, July 27th. And then we'll have a bit of a quiet spell until about football season.
And just so everybody knows, so Sarah brought in a giveaway here. We got some free tickets and a bag and some other goodies for Ribfest, Happy Harry's Ribfest. And we're going to give that away on our Downtown Fargo Facebook page coming up later today and this weekend. And we'll do some sort of drawing. I don't know the rules yet, but we'll figure it out. So feel free to look at our social media. Where do they find information about Happy Harry's HappyHarry'sRibfest.com.
HappyHarry'sRibfest.com.
Awesome. And then we have marathon tomorrow.
We
right?
do have Marathon. So that is more south, kind of on NDSU's campus. You are welcome to park at the FargoDome parking lots to be able to see the spectators or be a spectator and watch the runners and all of that. But everything is outside, kind of in that south parking lot of our building.
Perfect. Yeah, and just good to know downtown where you have a number of road closures. It goes on Broadway for a number of blocks. So if you're driving around tomorrow, just pay attention to the maps. That's everything you need to know. And then coming up next on our show, we're going to have Chief David Zibolski from the Fargo Police Department. So we're really excited to have him on. We're also going to have Ashley from Interstate Parking to talk about all things parking downtown. Sarah, looking forward to seeing you at Ribfest.
Yes, thank you so much.
Take care.
All right, you too.
All right, welcome back. Pleased to have our police chief in Fargo on with us, David Zibolski. Thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks, Rocky. Great to be here.
You have a big job. You guys just released your annual report, too, if anybody wants to check that out. It's a very comprehensive look at everything. But what I really appreciate about our partnership and looking at downtown issues is you're bringing new stuff to the table, always looking to innovate and advance your work.
Yeah, no, we're continuing to push on technology, innovations, new things, and it's been great. I think we're having tremendous impact. Of course, we got some other issues that are outside of the police purview, and to that extent, we're hoping that there's going to be some more options and innovations as well, right?
Yeah, and so we've probably heard a number of things happening downtown. We've tried to publicize the work you guys are doing, and the work we're kind of pushing on is we have the deployable bollards that just got installed on 2nd Avenue, but in addition to that, the police made a big commitment and helped us out with some deployable barricades for all the events. I think keeping events safe and giving people that feeling of safety when they come downtown has been a top priority. Those things are investments, but I think the biggest investment that you and I always talk about is your people, and I think working with your officers have been fantastic, and we just need more.
Yeah, that's actually, in a nutshell, you're absolutely correct. And I guess we're, happy that through the public safety sales tax, we'll get an additional 9 positions next year for our department. But certainly that's about the tip of the iceberg in terms of what we need to get up to a manageable per 1,000 ratio to provide that level of service and also allow our folks some breathing time and some work-life balance. So we're happy with this first step in terms of adding personnel, but we've certainly got more work to be done there.
Maybe in just a minute, because I think this is something interesting. So you have 9 new people budgeted, but police just don't just come on and appear when you hire somebody.
Yeah,
there's a lag time.
Yeah, there is. It's a year. It's a solid 8 months, and really a year for 8 months before they even see the streets, and it's a couple of years after that at least. Up to 3 years really for them to get comfortable in what they're doing. So, probably close to 50% of our force is less than 5 years on, and so there's been,
Let's talk recruitment really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, if people are listening, what are you looking for? I mean, do you have to have a previous career in law enforcement to get to this, or where?
No, we have a 60 college credit requirement, and we're getting ready to push out a new posting for our January class now that we know we've got these positions through the sales tax. And one of the things that we've done a little bit is augment the 60 college credit with a certain amount of years of full-time military experience. So maybe we'll open up a few more opportunities for people who had full-time military service of, I think it's 4 years if I'm not mistaken, that don't have that degree that they could also apply. So, and we haven't really had a recruitment issue. Our main issue is getting the authorized positions from the city to expand the department. So this is good news, and we'll be working on that. You'll see that posting coming out shortly, but we're looking for obviously good quality character candidates of integrity. I always like to say character and competence, and committed. You got to be committed to public service. It's a difficult job. It's not for everyone, and sometimes people are in it for a short amount of time, and it's more than they anticipated it would be, and that's fair. And they decide it's not for them, and they move on to other things. So it's, across the nation and here in Fargo, same thing. We have those challenges, but we have done really well on the recruitment end. We have a class of 10 graduating this Monday, as a matter of fact, Academy Class 8, and that will put us at darn near full staffing. So we're going to be going into 26, adding those new bodies in really good shape.
Let's talk about some of the things people are going to see that's new this year. I think I was just talking to a couple of your officers yesterday. They were down in St. Paul, I think, in training on their new trikes.
Yeah, the trikes are they're motorized 3-wheel scooters that are really something, and will give our personnel in all areas of the city, but particularly that downtown corridor, places like the Arbors, things that are difficult to navigate by car and that kind of thing. Not only the ability to quickly respond to those issues, but you'll see them more because of that. And when they get to the call, they don't have to walk 15 blocks and then they're fatigued. They can scoot over there, address it, get back to what they were doing. They'll be able to get more out onto the bike trails. And we've also just did a new training, bicycle training a couple of days ago. And we've got a group of folks who are now trained on the bicycles and e-bikes as well. So we'll have a variety of different pieces out there for the cops to use that you'll see them on. Those trikes are fully loaded, lights and siren. They can go 40 plus miles an hour. So they're capable of getting out to places and intervening and things quickly. So
yeah,
I'm
I know.
excited.
When I first heard trikes, I was thinking like the 3-wheel bikes, and this is way cooler than that. They're not a Segway. They're not kind of big and clunky like that. They're like a cross between the two.
Yeah,
they're really mobile. They're silent because they're electric.
And Segways were hard to keep your balance on. I don't know if you ever tried that, but that was challenging. Yeah, these are very easy, and our folks got the training. Our partners down at St. Paul PD very graciously agreed to do the training. They've had these things in place for some time and had really good feedback on them, and everyone's just excited to get them out on the bricks. And actually, folks will probably see them out tomorrow at the marathon. So we've got that big event going on, and I'm sure we'll see trikes and folks out there in them tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be neat. So also downtown, we have, with school ending next Thursday in Fargo, my kids are very excited, but the officers in all the schools, the school resource officers, a lot of them come downtown in the summer. Yeah,
that's one of the ways we add to our staffing here in the summer, is use those 8 SROs to augment our community engagement team folks and cover more time, more shifts. So they'll be out there engaging and enforcing and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to help a lot. The other big thing technology-wise is our real-time crime center, which has been a complete game changer across the city, but most notably downtown. And you see that in the crime statistics as well. And our drug arrests are up in the last month, largely because we have cops at the real-time crime center observing those drug violations, being able to direct radio to cops on the ground to where this activity is happening, allowing them to make an arrest. And so that's required by statute.
Seeing that work, maybe not everybody realizes, but I mean, there's a lot of cameras downtown. It's just where it's a populated area, both private and public, and it's tough to get away with anything.
Now it is, and because previously, without this real-time crime center and using cops to observe it, because that's required by state law, we couldn't make an arrest. And so we're starting to knock that out of the park as well and address some of that drug activity. And as you know, we've made the ordinance changes recently that are in effect for public consumption, possession of open intoxicants, public urination, that now allow us to make arrests in those incidents. So we've been working on that and having some pretty great effect as well. So I think we're seeing a lot more activity downtown. We're also getting a lot more calls, and we see the call volume is up, which is also good. There was a communication issue, I think, in which well-intended store owners thought that they didn't want to call dispatch for some of these issues, and we just didn't know about them. And now we're getting those calls. Our folks have much greater latitude in terms of when we get set to someone who's intoxicated or causing some other kind of disturbance in terms of warrants. Are they a registered sex offender? Are there other violations that we can take action on? So, and in addition, we're able to connect them to other instances. So if we're coming across the same person multiple times the same day, we have to come up with a different plan to address that behavior. So I think that has been successful. We're seeing the call volume up, but our folks are ready for the challenge.
Yeah, and maybe go along with that, we had I think there was about 50 people from a couple dozen different businesses. We had a storefront education series with your team put on, and it was great. I think there was a lot of questions from store owners, like, what should I do in these different situations? Who do we call to make sure we're getting the response that meet the expectations that they have as well? And I think that's been really helpful, and the coordination and communication's gone up, as you've said, and we've seen the results.
Yeah, no, I think that's going really well, and we're appreciative of those relationships, and I think people are seeing the effect of that.
Yeah, I try to be happy and positive about everything on this show, but maybe you're going to be with us one more segment here, and so when we come back, I want to get real, let's say, and talk about, we do have some challenges. Sure. And you mentioned the ordinances that we've worked on and increased enforcement, and more people and these different technologies downtown. But we have some challenges. I think we're curbing that behavior, but we'll talk about it more when we come back. So, welcome back, everybody. It's a beautiful weekend, and we're joined right now again with Chief David Zibolski from the Fargo Police Department. Chief, I want to talk about homelessness a little bit. I think that's a word that gets thrown around and people use it to encompass a whole lot of things, more than homelessness itself. And so we do have a growing homeless population. We see them downtown just because it's very pedestrian friendly, but if they're homeless or not, we have some homeless adjacent folks that create some problems and perception issues downtown. I think the perception issues are exponentially more problem than it actually is, but we do have some real problems. And we've done a number of things that have addressed that, but where are we at in addressing it?
Well, we've got not just homelessness, but as you said, we have addiction, we've got mental health. Those are all three inextricably connected under that same umbrella. And, it varies, but that is in a nutshell the overall issue. And as you mentioned, the city's tried to address this in different fashions, but again, I think we're still lacking a long-term strategic plan in terms of what are we going to do here relative to the engagement center, this particular issue, not only from the public safety and perception piece, but also in terms of some of these folks need legitimate treatment that they're not getting walking around on the street, and that's a different need in terms of a mental health facility and maybe something for the addiction piece as well. On the pure homeless side, the housing issue, and I know that public health is worked. The city's worked, I think, with United Way and those folks to try and identify housing locations for those that are homeless and would benefit from that. And we, I think, all, including them, I'm sure, would like to see that move a lot quicker. As you recall, about a month ago, they came to commission and said, hey, we don't have our options available yet, and asked for our winter warming and our summer cooling to be extended another 30 days, which the commission approved. That 30 days is up, and Saturday night is the last day that facility will be available overnight. So we're prepping, I guess, on the police side as well, that come Sunday night, there could be a group of folks that don't have any place to stay yet. The housing options haven't developed yet, as far as I know.
There's what, about 30, 40 people that go to that?
I don't know the numbers, but I don't think that's too far off. I think it probably varies, but that I've heard that kind of an estimate.
I want to put a plug in, because I think United Way is doing great work, and they're trying, but they need help. So if anybody's out there that is feeling generous or wants to, see how they can help, contact the United Way of Cascade. They're raising some funds to put these people in housing. They have a great system. They've done it successfully. It's just funds and also units I think they're looking for. And so I know that's their effort, and we wish them the best of luck. In the meantime, we also have to then deal with the real results of them not being able to.
100% agree. I think they're trying to do as much as they can, but we just, it's we're going to find ourselves in a situation here very shortly where we don't have that housing, and now we don't have the other options at night. So, whatever help can be offered, certainly we'd encourage that.
Yeah, and if you give me a minute, just to get a little political, I think downtown's ready for some action on the engagement center. I know the legislature didn't come through as we hoped they would, but the private entities I've talked to have committed to $2.5 million to match the city's $2.5 million to move it. And it's one of those things when we talk about moving it, we're not just moving it to disappear the problem. Where the engagement center's at downtown was picked during COVID. It was an empty building, so it was an emergency situation. Obviously, COVID was an emergency situation. We picked the building. They don't like the building. I mean, it's not great for the services they're providing. They want a different location as well. I think it's finding a building, finding a location, getting the political agreements from the commission. It's all of the above, but we're kind of in this paralysis mode right now where we need to act. We can't just keep talking about it anymore. And so I think pushing as much as we can on the commission and the staff to let's move.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is there's no quick solution to this. And the research I've done on it is, again, to provide proper service and all that, but to place it in an area that's not as impactful on the community like the downtown is, and that was an emergency thing to begin with, but to make sure that wherever that location is, it's in an area that's not impacting the community, but also allows access to the resources that those folks need in a variety of different ways. So you've really got to package that whole deal, find the right location, and then get that moving along. And I think the other piece is the city, I know, is trying very hard has worked very diligently to get public-private support. I mean, this is, there's a commission, I guess, determination about what can the city sustain going forward in terms of this function.
Yep.
And so I think those partnerships are important, and hopefully they'll come up with a good plan and solution.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I think the services they're offering, I mean, that's how you prevent homelessness, stop homelessness, get people back in housing, help people with mental health, addictions, all these things. Those services are critical, but you need to do it in a way that limits the impact too, but also limits the cost on other services. I mean, the fact where it's at, they don't have a place to really be outside, so they linger and they end up causing problems that creates an expensive process for your department then to try to manage as well. Or if we had a different location that maybe could suit them better, everybody would be better off, and I think taxpayers would be better off, well, in my opinion. And so I'm ready. We've stepped up on our end, and so we're just ready to make a decision. And so we're hoping staff can bring forward some solutions, and the commission's ready to go. One thing I know, when James Matthew from Milwaukee, which is your past as well, he came here to talk about homelessness. It really resonated with our board and our people, is that people want to solve homelessness for a lot of different reasons, and it doesn't matter why you want to. We all agree that we want to reduce homelessness and reduce the impacts. And so if we can kind of skip judging people and how they talk about it and how they get to that end result, while we all like to argue about those things sometimes, it doesn't solve the problem. And so let's focus on the joint solution as much as we can, and that's how we're going to move forward.
Yeah, no, that's important. Good point.
So Milwaukee, that's where you come. What'd you bring? What surprised you about Fargo that you didn't expect as you joined this role?
Well, it was, I think the infrastructure of the city is very good. I guess what surprised me, not much really, other than it's very windy. The weather was, was cold, but no, I was impressed with the operations of the city in general, the department and all that kind of stuff. And Fargo's not, with all these other social issues, is not really any different than any other city or location. Everyone's got these issues across the U.S., and it's, the solutions and how you deal with them. And if there was a golden egg solution to all of this, someone would be making a lot of money. But in the research I've done in these types of areas, the big thing is really, some type of private or public-private partnership that allows for this longer-term plan that provides a good location tied in with those services, and then kind of go from there and take your successes as they come. And I think we're just at a point where everyone, I think, would like a really quick solution, and there just isn't one. But the longer we wait to start crafting it, the longer this is going to continue to be a problem.
Yeah, what I really liked about what you brought, I mean, you're not afraid to go out in the community. You're at the chamber events with the other police chiefs. You're on the radio, obviously. You can see you walking around with officers, too, and talking with business owners, talking with citizens. Not afraid to say the tough things sometimes either, not just the popular thing. And I like that. Community, you've been very good on your wellness programs with your officers, their mental health, all those types of things. But you have a community picnic coming up too.
Yeah,
people want to come out, interact. So June 18th at Broadway Square.
Yeah,
I hear that's a great place.
It is a great place. Yeah, it's and we're looking forward to it. We've had the last couple picnics have been outstanding. The attendance, and it seems to get larger every year. So we're really looking forward to that. It's a great opportunity to community to enjoy downtown, meet not just the police, but you've got firefighters, EMS, public safety servants, DPW, all those folks are down there. It's just a great time. So looking forward to that. Yeah,
it's free. It's full house. Come on down. Free. You get stickers and snacks, and
there could be some hot dogs and chips maybe somewhere too.
I think. Perfect. You get your kids love going inside the SWAT vehicles or the fire engines.
Yeah,
and all
we have the dunk tank, right?
Dunk tank.
So that's always fun.
Yeah. Who's in the dunk tank this year? Do you put the? You just said you're graduating 10 people.
Our academy folks last year, so I don't know if they're gonna. Well, they'll probably be out on assignment somewhere, so we're gonna have to find some other victims, but I'm sure we will.
No city commissioners or anything like that. Is that to get you in trouble?
Well, we welcome anyone, so we'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So, Chief, what else are we looking forward to this summer?
Well, we've got. I think the Red Hawks game's coming up actually this Tuesday. That's a salute to public service. So again, all city entities Tuesday night at the Red Hawks game. And as I said, Monday morning we're doing a swearing of these 10 new officers. We're also going to do an on-field, kind of secondary swear-in for that event. And there'll be a lot of fun things for kids to do there as well. Our comms team is working on putting a number of things together. So that's another nice community event if folks are interested in coming out Tuesday night to the Red Hawks game to see that. We've got, really just getting our new officers out on the road and getting them continuing to build the force up there, and just kind of hopefully the other ordinance that's coming up that will allow us a little more leverage and help with safety downtown is the bicycles on sidewalks. That's been a pretty dangerous thing for some time as well, and that's making its way through commission. That should come out for final reading and be effective late June-ish, and then we'll be able to start addressing that a little better as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure everybody understands that. So, I mean, on Broadway, you can bike on the road, and it's pretty bikeable. And everywhere else in town, you can bike on sidewalks. In downtown, it's very pedestrian heavy. You have shops opening and closing their doors. Bikes are not safe on the sidewalk for pedestrians, for shops, for the bikers themselves.
And some of these are e-bikes, and I mean that's a whole other level of danger just because of the speed. And so actually we're looking at expanding not just Broadway, but the avenues as well, probably from 4th Street to Roberts, Main to 6th Ave, just keeping bikes off sidewalks in those very pedestrian business. We want them to be business-friendly, walkable areas, and so that really fits in even with the bollards that will be up, and maybe there'll be some expansion of that as the downtown area grows, but I think that's important that people can have that walkability and not worry. You don't hear these bikes coming, and
Right.
you just can walk right into them.
So I've heard you say this, and I know from your work, you're committed to downtown on working a lot of these issues, but maybe just give you a chance in the last 2 minutes to let those shop owners or people knowing, are better days ahead of us? Are we addressing these problems?
Oh, well, we're certainly addressing them with every tool and innovation that we have. We need some other solutions in some of these areas, of course, but I think that we've had a lot of progress already identifying some ordinance issues that give us a little more leverage, being able to bolster our presence, not just in real numbers, but also through technology and some of the bikes and those types of things, so that we're quicker to be back and forth and be more present. And then just really partnering with our business owners and stuff. And there's some great people working downtown. Like all of us, they're very committed to the prosperity of downtown and the city as a whole. That's really a big piece of it. And we just encourage them to engage with us. Don't be afraid to call us if you have a concern or your safety issue.
You can't do anything if people aren't calling.
Yeah, right. We need to know. And with all the technology that we brought in, we're really good now, our intelligence analysis unit, at connecting dots, identifying people, places, those types of things to the point where we have an idea of where the next thing might even happen. So, don't be afraid to reach out to us. Our folks are as committed as the business owners are to making sure we're safe.
Okay, so something I ask all my guests, that's kind of off topic, but as a downtown person, what I try to have people call out something else fun going on downtown, maybe a favorite restaurant, favorite show, favorite place to go and hang out, something you love about it.
Well, I love all of the restaurants, so I try to make my way to each of them intermittently. You do a little walk around.
Well, you're not
Wednesday
getting
night.
enough easy. I'm going to keep you on until you name a favorite one.
Well, I like Teddy's.
Teddy's, there we go.
Yeah, the food is good, and I like this historical piece to it, so that's good. And we popped in there the other night while we were doing a little walk around downtown, so that's great. But there's a number of great places there, 416, Beer and Fish. The nice evening nights out, we go to Rose Wild or Mezzaluna, and it's just there's a great variety down there.
Well, Chief, I appreciate all your work.
Absolutely.
And, your whole team's work. Please pass that on to all of them.
Will
Look
do.
forward to a great summer working together and see you downtown.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Next up, we're going to have Ashley with Interstate Parking to talk about parking ramps downtown. Welcome back to Rocky's Downtown Hour. I'm joined by Ashley Grooms. She's a new import into Fargo coming from Denver, and she's with a company called Interstate Parking. Interstate Parking. What is Interstate Parking? What do they do in the city here?
We manage the public parking zones for the city, including the ramps and on-street parking in the downtown parking zones.
So we have a lot of parking ramps downtown. Most of them are public. There's a couple private ones, but we got, like 2,000 parking spots and parking ramps in downtown. I think it's ever growing. And people always, I think it's been the historic kind of thing to joke about, like parking downtown, and people will drive around the block over and over again that maybe haven't been downtown before. I always try to tell them that our events are a great excuse to try a parking ramp for maybe the first time for some people. I love parking ramps. They're weather protecting.
Yeah.
Anybody who has a parking lot here who's gone out and had to clear snow from their car, that's not a thing in parking ramps.
That's not.
And so how are parking lots utilized? Do you guys track the utilization? Are people using parking ramps? We keep building new ones?
We do track the utilization. So just to kind of touch on those figures, there's probably an equal division of parking on the street and in the ramps. So One thing that I've noticed is that there's just a misconception about downtown areas in general, that there is no parking. In the ramps here, we do have about 1,200 right now, and there is another ramp getting activated here towards the end of the summer, possibly in the middle of the summer. But can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I mean, I like your myths thing. So, I mean, I always look at the street fair, which is the busiest 3 days in downtown, and we get 100,000 people over 3 days. Everybody seems to find a way to get there, and that's after we closed 8 blocks of parking on Broadway. And so, I mean, there's a lot of parking. It might not be right in front of the store, but if you park at West Acres or Costco, you're walking a couple blocks to get to whatever store you're going to. And so there's a lot of options. But for somebody like demystifying a parking ramp, what do you expect when you come in a parking ramp?
I would say for the general public, there's some misconceptions about parking ramps, that they may be unsafe or dark or dirty or too far is a really big one. Downtown, you kind of touch on it with the mall. Actually, the ramps are less than 2 minutes to most every shop downtown. And there is a lot of parking in there. I believe your first question was about utilization. We do see some of the garages being underutilized, and a lot of circling on Broadway, where people end up getting frustrated and leaving these events because they aren't looking for these ramps. There are 3 right now that are open to the public, available, and they are very safe. That is the biggest misconception, is that parking ramps are unsafe. Ours are very well lit, very well open. They do offer weather protection, however, even though they are open air. And
they're monitored.
They're monitored.
You guys go through them, work with the police when you need to, work with others, they're secured. They get walked through every day.
Yep. And so just to go kind of touch on what the chief was talking about, the flock system and the real-time crime center, these are public garages. So these are being monitored by the real-time crime center, in addition to our teams regularly going through there throughout the day. So these are very highly monitored facilities. One thing that I like to tell people is that generally what happens in a parking garage can happen anywhere. It's just mostly about how you be safe yourself. So most like smash and grabs into cars are opportunity driven. They're usually they could be anybody. Most of the video footage I see is it's somebody in a suit on the way to a business meeting that just saw your laptop on your seat. So parking garage is very safe. If you have a laptop out anywhere, you might get it lost, but
just to make everybody not feel dumb, that's happened to me in Minneapolis. I went down for work, and I checked in late, and I left my laptop bag sitting right there, and it wasn't there when I got there. So it's like, yeah, I mean, just common sense things too, to keep it safe. It's not any different in parking ramps anywhere else. Don't leave your doors unlocked and those type of things. But yeah, and maybe one thing we briefly talked about at the Downtown Community Partnership, we are working on signage downtown. We just working on a contract with a local firm to work on some wayfinding pedestrian signage. And part of that is pointing out where all the parking ramps are for people that, driving around in circles. Maybe they're looking for a parking spot, maybe they're looking for the ramp, or they missed it and someone told them where we were and they're not familiar. So we're working on that. We'll have better signage soon. And so that's a big part of it. But how else can we find out? Where do people go to find parking information?
We have a really great resource for everybody called FargoParking.com. This is the most up-to-date information on all things parking. That doesn't just include what we do at Interstate Parking with the downtown zone. This does also link to what PD is doing, and it has all the real-time updates on any new changes, ramps, locations, pricing.
So I've had a number of questions about the Roco ramp and the updates that are going on there. Will you tell us what's happening at the Roco ramp?
So the Roberts Commons ramp, we are looking at implementing high-speed roll-up doors. It's very similar to like a garage roll-up door, but they move a lot faster. And it is designed to help keep pedestrian traffic out of the driving lane. So just minimizing any of that foot traffic that might be following vehicles in. And then inside there, we will be switching to where most of the parking industry is going, where we're getting away from gated technology with tickets and going to kind of reservation-based system based on your license plates and cameras monitoring that. So it's just also another layer of security because those cameras are always activated.
Change is tough on people. I mean, your people are going to complain. They like pulling the ticket and they feel it's very physical. But anywhere else you go, you have an app on your phone. Right, for everything else. And it'll be similar to any other app at any rewards program or anywhere else. You open up the app, plug it in, you can add time
Yep.
all those type of things.
And the nice thing about ours is that you don't need an app. So it's not another thing to load on your phone and weigh it down or anything like that. It's just to scan the QR code. And then with cameras, they do remember you if you come in, and then it'll ask you if you'd like to start a session if you pull in. So if you're a frequent visitor, it's very easy to, just re-register. And then as Rocky mentioned, it will remind you if you're running out of time that you pick.
So you've been in town 3 months, coming from Denver. I love Denver. So you're in downtown Denver too, right?
Yes, I was.
So yeah, this bring a lot of good experience, help us advance our systems here. But what's been your experience in downtown Fargo?
I would say the one thing that I've really taken away from Fargo in these last 3 months is just the how vibrant the downtown community is, and how everyone is invested in kind of maintaining safety and pushing these events and having community engagement from business owners to the city itself. You don't see that a lot in big cities like that. So
Yeah, I mean, you can have the police chief on, right?
Yep.
It's like you see them, the commissioners or police chief walking downtown. You can wave at them and talk to them. It's very connected. Everyone's very open, willing to help each other out. But what's your go-to places downtown? Because you're downtown, you work downtown.
Yep.
And so you must go to lunch, hang out downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your go-to?
I really like breakfast myself, so I really like Marge's. But if it's like lunch that you're really looking for, JL Beers is really good. They have great fresh cut fries. So.
That's awesome. You can't really go wrong with any of those options. Ashley, thanks. Fargo Parking. Appreciate it.
Thanks for
And
having
we'll see everybody next Friday. Enjoy the beautiful weekend. Marathon runners, best of luck.